We have breaking news. Minutes ago, the Justice Department filed a notice of appeal saying the United States Department of Justice hereby appeals to the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia the ruling of Judge Amy Berman Jackson, who had ruled that a memo written in the Trump Justice Department for Attorney General William Barr must be released. The Biden Justice Department is now protecting that memo through the appeals process, trying to keep it as an internal memo. Joining us now is Neil Katyal, former acting U.S. Solicitor General and an MSNBC legal contributor. Neil, what do you make of this? Literally, I mean, not last minute, but last hour. They had about 60 minutes left to file this last hour decision to appeal this ruling that would have otherwise made that memo to William Barr public tonight.
Yeah, so Lawrence, I've read the DOJ filing. It's not an extension. They are seeking to appeal Judge Jackson. They're saying Judge Jackson was wrong to order the disclosure of the Barr Justice Department memo. And this is disappointing to me. I think this is the people's memo. I think this is the wrong decision. They're, in fairness, not going to appeal at all. They're going to leave an unredact about 1.5 pages of the memo, I'm told, but the rest they are fighting. Now, in an ordinary world, Lawrence, this wouldn't be an unusual decision. The decision will be made by the Solicitor General in consultation with the Attorney General. Solicitor General was my old job. I can tell you that in an ordinary world, I would have appealed this decision because the government doesn't want federal judges ordering disclosure of sensitive, perhaps ongoing law enforcement investigations. You want a zone of secrecy around that and the encouragement of unfettered advice. But the problem here is that this investigation is anything but ordinary. Judge Jackson, who's one of the most respected judges in the country, wrote a scathing opinion basically saying Bill Barr lied, the Justice Department lied, Barr was disingenuous, to use her word. And we've always known there's been a degree of corruption around Bill Barr. He acted always like one of Donald Trump's attorneys. Indeed, Lawrence, while we've been waiting for the Justice Department to make this decision, there's all these people on social media saying, oh, the Justice Department made the decision. See this Barr memo. And that was Barr's audition memo to be the Attorney General that he wrote before he got the job, in which he, for 20 pages, said there's no obstruction of justice prosecution that should exist here. And that's what this document is that we are all wanting to seek. And the Justice Department now is saying, nope. The people don't get to see it. It's going to stay in the vault. And that, to me, is not the right call.
Neil, let me go back to what you and I would consider tradition in these circumstances, the norm in these circumstances. If this was, say, the Clinton presidency after the George H.W. Bush presidency, no one would blink an eye at something like this. They would consider this one responsibly run Justice Department being handed off to another responsibly run Justice Department, basically using the same values, the same approaches to the law, to procedure, to all of these things, and they would see things similarly. This comes after the most legally radical administration in history, with the longest ongoing legally radical attorney general in operation. Richard Nixon's attorney general went to prison. He was taken out of the job. Bill Barr was not taken out of the job except by an election. And so that's what's so striking about this, is that this is the Biden Justice Department is giving a kind of normal frame to a stunningly abnormal period and abnormal memo.
That's beautifully said, Lawrence. You'll find no person who's a more zealous defender of the institution of the Justice Department and the way in which you shouldn't change from one administration to another than me. I mean, that's my cardinal belief. But this is a different thing. Remember, Judge Jackson read the actual underlying documents. And she doesn't just attack him for just trying to keep this report confidential and away from the public. She also goes after Bill Barr for his false and misleading summary of the Mueller report. And it's not just Judge Jackson, it's other federal judges. Judge Reggie Walton called Barr's handling of the Mueller report, quote, distorted and misleading. And Judge Emmett Sullivan said, did the same thing about the dropping of the case against Michael Flynn. So I don't know you can apply the same rule book for a normal presumption of regularity Justice Department than you can to this. That's what the Garland Justice Department appears to have done tonight. We'll have to study the decision, but for right now, at least, my sense is this is not the right call. The people need to see and understand what happened at this Justice Department over the last 4 years. We've waited and waited and waited, and to bury this is, I think, detrimental to what American democracy is all about.